What's up, everybody? Welcome into your NFL Pregame Show. It's Rob Trujillo. I'm chilling out, waiting for Sterls. Who knows if Sterls is going to be here? He's been dog sick. And so I'm not here to tell him that he's got to be here or nothing like that. Just trying to make sure he gets right, trying to make sure he gets healthy as we head into the last week of the season. He's been sick for like 2 weeks. And right before I left, he insisted on jumping on with me, even though he was sick, and he couldn't do more than like 5 minutes. So who knows? He could be face first in his pillow right now, drooling. Um, he said he was going to come hang with us, but if he's sleeping, I'm not going to hold it against him because he's been so sick for so long. That's right. David knows. Need him to get ready for the playoffs. 100%. Speaking of which, David, both headed to the bar where we can't watch Miami-Baltimore, a game we'll talk about coming up. So I just need a ruling, man, because I thought to myself, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bring my laptop. I'm going to hop on my little illegal website that I use, and I'm going to put Miami-Baltimore on a laptop right in front of us. Now, listen, if that's not us focusing on the task at hand today as Buffalo Bills fans, I understand if you're a little iffy about it, but I feel like it's appropriate. I feel like it's not us overlooking the Patriots. I don't want to watch it on a phone. I'm also bringing an extra my work phone to have NFL Red Zone on. But if you're telling me that's overlooking our opponent, I'm here to listen to it at least. Because I don't want to bring any bad juju in there. But I mean, our game don't mean nothing if it, I guess it doesn't. I guess it's not meaningless, but that Miami game is what it's all about for Bills fans today. As long as not us, as long as the Bills are focused, then we can take care of business, and us fans can watch the Miami game and worry about if we're paying attention. You know what I mean? Like, all right, hold on. Let's get this thing up here. Uh-huh. 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 So because Sterls isn't here, I gotta kind of do some stuff on the fly here. So I apologize for that. But like we said, we're good with Sterls not being here. He's not feeling well. Bang. Okay. I'm gonna go forward as if Sterls is not gonna be here. If he's drooling into his pillow, God bless him. Gonna run down every game of the week. Pick it against the spread. I'm gonna put the bet in right here in front of you. The only one I don't actually bet is the Buffalo Bills, and the reason for that is you can see it right here. I feel like I've got some rose-colored glasses for that one. So I'll always tell you what I would bet if it was the Bills, but I won't actually bet. That is the only game that I don't actually bet every week. The rest of them, I put the bet in right here in front of you. I'm betting with you. So I'm not just saying it. My money's going where my mouth is. I will tell you what I believe is going to happen and then put my money where my mouth is right afterwards. So we start today with Patriots and Bills. And of course, this is the one near and dear to my heart. But so I go two ways about this. As far as the actual game goes, if you got $1,000 to lay on it so you can win 100, I'd probably do it. Whole bunch of Patriots starters out for the game, including Jabril Peppers. Bill Belichick has this weird fondness for Josh Allen, and I think he is totally capable of designing a defense to stop him, especially against an inexperienced play caller in Joe Brady. But for some reason, it feels like Belichick is like, no, I want you to win this game and go mess with Miami. I don't know why. Whole bunch of guys out. Like I said, it includes Jabril Peppers, who missed last week. But the Patriots have been on a little bit of a heater. So even if they've got some guys out, I don't know if it's been passed down if Hunter Henry is going to play or not. But he was questionable. So, you're sitting here looking at this saying, oh, yeah, Patriots only 4-11. Yeah, well, they also, I think, won 2 of their last 3, and the one that they lost was against the Chiefs. So, if I'm telling you what I think is actually going to happen in the game, I think the Bills are going to sleepwalk it because they always sleepwalk. But I think they find a way to pull it out. I think it looks a lot like the Charger game last week. So I would take the Patriots and the points. They've been hot. They really have. And against the spread, I think they've won their last 4, the Patriots. So I haven't heard about Ramondre Stevenson. Let's see if I can get some answers here on guys who are out. The inactives wouldn't have come out yet, so we don't have official word for that kind of stuff, but let's see if I can get some Patriots news here. Nope, not there. But 14.5, 2 scores is a lot. You guys know that my theory generally is don't bet against a 10-plus point spread. You know what I mean? And so it very much holds true here. The Bills are the prototypical team for that to be true. Yes, sometimes they win by 50, but sometimes you get what you got with Easton Stick last week, and, you just kind of surviving because it's hard to win in the NFL. Okay, let's see what we got here. So, Patriots. Peppers is out. Butte is out. Oh, he's here. He's here, everybody. Now, hold on. I got to do a whole bunch of stuff now. Hey, can you hear me, Sterls? I got to do a whole bunch of stuff now to get you on. Hold on. Pop in. Let's go. Okay. Can you hear me, Sterls? You good?
Yeah, man. I'm good.
You alive?
Alive and well.
Man, we worried about you, bro.
I was worried about me. My voice is still not all the way there, but I'm getting better.
Yeah, you sound like you're struggling a little bit, and I told you, man, I don't want you here if it's going to wreck your voice for the next however long.
Nah, let's do this.
All right, well, we're doing it, man. You're here. You're on. This is it. Welcome in.
Yeah.
I had just started talking about Patriots Bills. I'll let everybody know that we're going to kind of fly through today. Try to make it just an hour because I got to get my pretty little butt to a bar and in a chair and ready for watching Baltimore and Miami because this game, I hope, is not interesting. But every time we say that about the Bills, what do? Eat it. Right? They sleepwalk through.
Don't even put that out there, man. Don't even put it out there.
Every week, dude. Every week we talk like this about the Bills. They sleepwalk.
Yep.
Before we get into it, just real quickly, how was your Christmas? How you feeling? What's going on, man?
Well, being sick the entire time, there was no drama. Everything was good, but just battling this flu was a whole thing. So I managed to make it, but everything's good.
A week plus, bro. That is killer.
Yeah, dude. Brutal. It's probably the longest I've ever had it.
And it wasn't COVID. It was just a regular flu.
Influenza B is what it is.
Influenza B. Yeah, sometimes they just catch you right on the chin like that, dude.
Bro, crazy.
All right. Well, so I told everybody this isn't one that I normally bet. But if I was betting this one, I'd take the 14.5 points. Tell me I'm wrong.
Oh,
Tell me I'm crazy.
man, I wouldn't do it. I
You
mean, I
wouldn't
think
take
the
the
Bills.
14.5?
Look, the Bills. It's like damned if you do, damned if you don't.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, it's so hard to predict. I mean, I do think the Bills should put it on no Jabril Peppers. They got guys out. Uh, there's no reason why the Bills shouldn't beat them by 14 points, but it's the NFL and it's this season. And it's just one of those games where I feel like they could be looking forward to Miami and just let them hang around too long. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So
And
it could be a
I think we
20
texted
to
about
30
that.
game.
Wasn't it you the one that I texted about that? Like, if we
Yeah.
get to the Miami game, I'm less worried about it, and that game matters. I'm less worried about
Mhm.
that game than I am about the two ahead of it, because I just feel like they're going to sleepwalk their way there. I'm trying to look at their schedule and think about the last time they were favored by double digits and actually won by double digits. Maybe the Jets game at home. That was
Mhm.
32-6. I don't know what the spread was on that. That could have been a double digit spread, but every other time that they would have been favored by double digits, I mean, they either have losses or bad wins. You know what I mean? So
Right.
I hear where you're coming from, but I would take the 14.5 points. But luckily, that's not one that I have to bet because that's a rule that I make for myself there.
Yeah. I'm gonna take the 14 just because I'm feeling hopeful today. I'm feeling hopeful. But
Well, as Bill,
look, the thing is this. The Bills can't mess around anymore.
yeah,
It's playoff time.
yeah.
Like they have to come out firing on all cylinders. And the thing that worries me about this team right now is the passing game and the rhythm, the lack of rhythm, right? And they gotta good news is they got 2 games to figure it out. But Stephon Diggs needs to be a part of this offense, right? Whether he's taking a step back or whatever it is, they got to feature him in this offense. For them to have success in the playoffs, he has to play up not a major role, but he has to be at least mid-tier.
So I'll just say this, and again, quickly moving through, but as far as Diggs goes, I think you've got when you have an inexperienced play caller at an NFL level, when you have a defense try to take a guy out of the game in the NFL, they're gonna be able to do that, right? The talent gap
Mm.
isn't so big that if you've got Justin Jefferson as your wide receiver, you can just go to him every time, even if they try to take him out of the game. If an NFL team is trying to take a guy out of the game, they'll likely be able to take an NFL a guy out of the game. And it takes a really good play caller, in my opinion, to make sure that that guy still eats, even though he's double teamed or taken out of the game plan by the other side. And I just think Brady hasn't been there yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I agree with it. That's, I think, what all Bills fans want. It's not just about getting a win in this one. It's about seeing a little rhythm in the passing offense.
Yeah, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of the Patriots offense where you had different guys each week step up, you know? Not necessarily, I mean, if it wasn't Welker, Edelman, or whatever, or Gronk, they just had different guys each week kind of, step up and do the thing. And I'm cool with that. Totally cool with that.
Yeah.
However, you're going to have to show the consistency to whoever is featured that game, they're going to have to produce at a high level. And, Josh Allen does better when Stephon Diggs is on firing all cylinders, right?
Yeah, but
so
I mean,
they got to sort that out.
but he does well when anybody else is firing on all cylinders.
Sure.
And that's, I think, what the offense showed versus Dallas is it doesn't matter if it's James Cook or Dalton Kincaid or whoever, somebody else has to do it, and then Josh turns into this immortal. So all right, moving along. Falcons Bears amazingly still has playoff implications. Falcons getting 2.5 points, going to Chicago. Bears announced Matt Eberflus is coming back. I don't know if they announced it. Reports have come out that Matt Eberflus is going to come back for Chicago. They've had a much better second half of the year than first half of the year, but I'm a little shocked by that. What do you think about this one, Sterls?
I mean, there's a lot of things that we don't see, right? Um, and you got to really look at, like, if you're the Bears, like, how attractive is your job? I know there's only 32 of them, but it's not that attractive. You got a GM and trust group that is kind of under scrutiny, and rightfully so. So, um, I'm okay with Matt Eberflus coming back. It just, they got to hit this upcoming draft. That's all that matters. They got to get the guys in place. So I think, you move off of Justin Fields and you draft another quarterback. I just think Justin Fields is broken. But they got some soul searching to do, in my opinion.
To me, it's all about that. Are you sticking with Fields? Because if you're sticking with Fields, I understand you bringing back Eberflus. I do. Keep everything the same. You don't want a lot of turnover. Like, I get that. But if you're going to draft another quarterback, you got a defensive-minded head coach who was unable to develop the first one. Like, I don't know. I mean, to me, I wouldn't do it. But so that's the case. That's the situation that they're in. I'm taking Falcons plus 2.5 here. This is the annoying game that I don't think the Falcons should win, and they're gonna win and be still in that playoff race going into the last week of the season. I think the Bucs will win and sew up the NFC South, but I think they'll still be there for a wild card. So I'm gonna take the Falcons in this. Who you got?
Give me the Bears here. I just think that defense is a lot to handle. Their defense playing really well. The Falcons, I mean, we find ourselves in this predicament each and every week with them, trying to project what kind of product they're going to put on the field, and it just hasn't been consistent, right? So give me consistency, and the Bears defense has been consistent. You're going to get a few plays from Justin Fields that are going to put them in a good position. So I'll take the Bears at home.
The queen herself, Hannah, says hello. What's up, Hannah?
Hey, what's up, Hannah?
Okay. Flying through here. Raiders, Colts is our next one. Again, a game that you didn't feel like at the beginning of the year necessarily would be playoff worthy, but here we are. Raiders 7-8, getting 4 points, headed to Indy, who's -4. Indy plays the Texans next week, so they really can't afford to slip up here. But it's an interesting little game here because the Raiders not out of it either for the wild card or for the AFC West. AFC West still open to them. They would have to win out. The Chiefs would have to lose out, but it's still at least possible with their win over the Chiefs last week. So who you got? Raiders +4, Sterls.
I'm going to go with the Raiders here. The Colts, man, I just they're the AFC version of the Falcons. You just don't know what you're going to get week to week, and that's the thing that really hurts. So I'll take the Raiders just because Antonio Pierce. At least they come ready to play. They might not fire on all cylinders. They might offensively look a little weak at times, but they're going to come out and have effort, right?
Are you a Antonio
Give me that.
Pierce truther? You think you should keep that job?
I think he should. And if you can, I mean, I would look for if I can get like a Harbaugh or somebody, a big name. I would definitely shoot my shot. But if not, you keep him. He fits that team. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
Antonio Pierce, the persona that he has, he fits that.
Which
That's
is
him
weird because he
all
never
day.
played there, but you're absolutely right. He does.
Yeah.
I conversely am going to take the Colts. This is good. We're against each other on these first three here. I am going to take the Colts. I'm going to take the Colts -4 here.
Okay.
I just think the Colts know what they have at stake, and they find a way to get it done. That Raiders team, big win last week. I feel like you're going to have kind of a letdown here, coming off the big emotional win on, was that Christmas Day against the Chiefs. All right, another fun one, Rams and Giants. So the reason that I think it's fun, you're looking at this saying, oh, the Rams should win this game, but it's West going East. It's a 1 o'clock start. It's going to feel like 10 a.m. for their bodies. Are the Rams going to show up and be ready to go? This isn't the only game of the week we're going to be talking about this. It's 6.5 is a lot of points to lay for a team that, I don't know, you just question if they're going to be ready. I'm going to take the Giants and the points, and I've got one big main reason for it, aside from what I just said. Tyrod Taylor.
Is he starting
that
today?
Offense effectively and efficiently. He is gonna start for the Giants today, and so I just think the Rams pull this out with a field goal or something like that at the end. But I think Tyrod Taylor scores enough points to keep it close. What do you think, Sterls?
I like that. Yeah, if Tyrod is the quarterback, he's going to keep them. He's not going to make mistakes that are going to hurt them.
Right.
He's going to keep them in the game.
Yep.
And you know what he's going to do? He's going to want to throw the ball deep, and he throws a really good deep ball. So I think having Tyrod out there is going to open up things for Saquon to kind of get some things going. So yeah, I would take the Giants with 6.5 for sure, being that it's at home as well. But I do think the Rams are going to win this game.
Yeah, it's do they get off to that sluggish start is really the big question, you know?
Right.
All right, Cardinals, Eagles, and this isn't just about the NFC East or the NFC playoff race here. This is also about the number 1 overall pick. Cardinals and Panthers, really the two teams with a shot at it here. And so you wonder how motivated the Cardinals are going to be coming in just in general because of where they're at in the season. But you know their management is sitting there like, I wouldn't hate a loss. You know what I mean?
Right, yeah. Sure.
But you guys know my rule, and I'm sticking to it here. I don't pick against 10-plus point spreads in the NFL. I'll give you all the reasons I should. It's West going East. The Eagles have gotten right, and I think with that game, watching that game last night with the Cowboys, one, they know they've got pressure on them, which I think helps them in this case. And two, they think to themselves, man, I don't want to play Dallas in Dallas. You know what I mean? Like, if it gets to a point, and it would have to be a championship game most likely, but I just don't want to play Dallas in Dallas. I want to play them in Philly, and you can handle that business by beating the Cardinals today.
Yeah, give me the Cardinals plus 12 here. I just feel like this is one of those games where the Cardinals will cardinal, even though they could lose this game and get that first overall pick. I feel like they're going to give the Eagles everything that they got. They're going to empty the barrel on these boys. Might not get them a win, but it's going to get the Eagles second guessing things for sure.
I don't know if I feel like they're just in get it done mode for the Eagles. I feel like they're kind of like the Bills. Like the Bills lost that game against the spread last week, and everybody was like, "Oh, they look terrible," blah blah blah. And I think they're just in get it done mode. You know what I mean? Like, I don't care.
For sure.
Just get a win.
Eagles will win, but I don't think it's going to be by 12.
All right, Saints and Bucks, and in this one, I believe the Bucks can clinch the NFC South with a win this morning. Bucks at 8-7 and have looked impressive lately. They've won their last 4. Their last 2 in particular. Baker Mayfield has, can I say I'm a Baker Mayfield fan? Is everybody over the fact that I'm a Baker Mayfield fan now? Because
we're not over it. We're not over it. But he's playing well.
He had a perfect passer rating in Green Bay 2 weeks ago and lit it up again. 6 touchdowns, no picks the last 2 weeks. Are we over it yet, Sterls? I feel like we should be over it.
Yeah, we should be over it, but you gotta give Baker credit. I mean, there's talks about him coming back next year, and I think that's a pretty good play for them. Veteran quarterback, You know he doesn't have an extremely high ceiling, but what he does have is he has the ability to get you 7, 8, 9 wins a season. I think that's it. That's what Baker Mayfield is. So it kind of, if you know, you have to look at it like this: can you replicate what you had in Cleveland? So what I'm saying is put a ton of weapons around him and just let him be the point guard. That's what you're gonna have to do with Baker.
And we
So
all
if you're
know
willing
they
to do that
have
as a
plenty of
franchise, then go
talent.
for it.
We all
Hmm.
know they have plenty of talent. This is why we talked about it, to start the year. We all know that they've got a Super Bowl caliber roster as of 2 years ago. And a lot of the pieces are still there. The big important pieces are still there.
Hmm.
So for me, I just think it's a very easy call to make. I'll take the Bucks -2.5. I never liked the Saints. I won't ever like the Saints.
Ever.
It's annoying that they keep winning because they beat teams that are no good. And I think the Bucks handle business today. I'll take the Bucks
The
minus two and
Saints
a
let
half.
us down this year, man. They should have been way better than what they were.
I think you got two really bad coaches in this game. You
Yep,
know what I
I
mean?
agree.
So, all
Yeah.
right. 49ers Commanders. Some news with this one. I don't think we've gotten all the actives, inactives yet, but some news with this one did already come down. Jacoby Brissett was slated to start this game. He is out with a hamstring injury. He will be inactive today, which means Sam Howell will start once again for the Commanders. 49ers, again, West going East. I told you it's a little bit of a theme this week. 49ers -14 points going into Washington. Man, this is one where I want to break my rule. Let me tell you right now, because I think the Niners are going to come in with a little bit of vengeance on their mind after they looked how they looked on Christmas Day. I think they're going to come in and really lay the wood. But I'm going to stick with my rule. I'll take the Commanders plus the 14.
You're gonna take the Commanders plus the 14 on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sam Howell. I have real questions about Sam Howell in this game against that matchup defense. I think it's going to be tough. Um, you know, the Commanders give up a ton of sacks, and you're going in the game against Bosa and Young. Um, you know, I just feel like it's a bad recipe for that offense, man. Sam Howell's going to be fighting for his life essentially, so it's tough. But 14 points, that's a major spread, man. So I think Vegas is giving us a bone here. So I tend to agree. I picked the Commanders plus the 14 here, but man, like 49ers, you can't come in here and just kind of, not be on point. They got to come out firing on all cylinders.
100%. And this isn't the one that I think might slip away. I think that one is actually next week against the Rams, even though it's in San Francisco. But they all of a sudden have to be careful here because you got pounded on Monday night and now you are tied with the Eagles rather than a game ahead of them. You could have
Right.
clinched the 1 seed this week if you had won that last game. Now you got to kind of watch it, be careful. Mental health guy jumps in. What's up, man? Good to have you. Says
He asked a good question.
Can Lamar secure an MVP with a good performance against the Dolphins? It is a good question. I don't think he can secure it, but I think it's going to go a long way towards it.
Yeah.
His numbers have been real good. I think he's a real good player. Remember this when we're talking about MVP races. I hate that I have to remind people all the time. There's not a bad player here, right? Like when we're talking about if you're in the MVP race, they're all great. So we're not dogging anybody by saying that I don't think they're in it or something like that. I just think after the Bills got left for dead by a lot of people, and there was a lot of talk about his turnovers, if Josh Allen goes nuclear these last 2 weeks and puts up 4 TDs each week and wins both games and gets help from the Ravens and wins the AFC East, I think there's going to be a lot of momentum there for him to be the MVP. People are 100% recency bias. They will have won their last 5 games. He's cleaned up the turnovers a little bit. He will obviously have to continue all of that the last 2 weeks.
Yep, for sure.
But yeah, so I don't think it wraps it up for him, mental health guy, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Listen, in this 49ers game last week, he was good. He wasn't great. He wasn't the reason that they won. It was that defense. Defense had 5 turnovers. So, I just don't think he's got it in the bag. What do you think, Sterls?
No, I tend to agree with you there. And it's, I think numbers do play a part here. Josh Allen's numbers are way better than Lamar Jackson's. They just are. And the Ravens aren't necessarily winning because of Lamar Jackson. And I told you early in the season that Ravens defense is for real. They are for real. They're good, man. And so I think, when the voters look at, who's more deserving of the MVP, I mean, I think, Josh Allen has 83% accounts for 83% of this team's touchdowns. And I'm not just saying that as a Bills fan. Hell, if it was Patrick Mahomes, I would say the same thing. So if you ask me, Josh Allen is your MVP.
The troll's in too. The troll's in too. Milkman in. Stop the cap, Rob. He thinks MVP is Christian McCaffrey, the white running back, is going to win the MVP. This is the same guy who was in our chats telling us how Brock Purdy was the MVP a couple weeks ago, and notice that has quieted down a whole lot. So that's hilarious, Milkman. Excellent job.
Von Miller's inactive today, by the way.
What? Really? And is AJ down? Is Epinesa down?
I don't know. It just said Von's inactive.
Wow. Well, I mean, listen, his play has warranted it, but I personally am of the mindset of I'm fine with still giving him snaps in non-high leverage situations to try to get him right. Because he might be washed, but it also might still be in there because he's coming back from a shitty leg injury. Does he still have it in him somewhere?
I'm cool with him being inactive. If the plan is to really his training regimen this week, really get him ready for the Dolphins heading into the playoffs. I still want to see him get snaps, but he really hasn't done anything. He takes terrible rush angles all the time, always has. So, I mean, I'm okay with it. He really hasn't done anything on the field, but I would like to see him for the playoffs for sure.
Yeah. So, and however they feel like they need to do that to get him right, he plays his best in big moments. So as these moments get bigger, I feel like he's going to get better, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm.
All right, last one, and then we're going to take our break because there's only 2 afternoon games. So we'll do this one, and then we'll get into the rest of the 11 o'clocks. We'll do our little commercial break coming up here. Panthers at Jaguars. Here's your other game that matters for the race for the number 1 overall pick, but not for the Panthers. They've traded that away to the Bears. A game that I really think the Panthers could win. They've looked better these last couple of weeks. Jaguars have looked awful, and now you've got C.J. Beathard starting in place of Trevor Lawrence. Panthers getting 3.5. Who you like here, Sterls?
I'm going with the Jaguars here. I'm not for 1 second buying the Carolina Panthers are going to come in and do anything.
I am.
C.J. Beathard's not a bad C.J. Beathard's not a bad backup quarterback.
Stop.
I think he can.
Stop. Hold on.
He's not a bad backup. He's not a bad backup. He's not bad. He's okay. He's average to below average, but he's not bad. Okay. He can operate in this offense.
Cozy up closer to that below average side of the spectrum.
So enough for me to swing on the 3.5. I give me the Jags here, man. I think plus with the 3.5.
I think it's, if anything, it's a field goal. But man,
Bryce Young, what has he shown you this year? Right? That's the thing, you know what I'm saying? It's Bryce Young you're going against.
What have the Jaguars showed you the last 5 weeks?
And that's the reason why they're going to come out and beat the Panthers today, because they haven't shown
Let's
anything in
go
5
over their
weeks.
last 5 weeks here. 24-21 win over the Texans. Okay, good. Then loss to the Bengals 34-31. Loss to the Browns 31-27. Loss to the Ravens 23-7. Loss to the Bucks 30-12. I mean, this team is spiraling out of control right now.
Yeah. There's reasons for concern.
And
for
you're
sure.
laying the 3.5.
Oh, absolutely.
He says
and twice
absolutely.
on Sunday.
He says, "Oh, absolutely."
Absolutely.
All right, we're going to take our little commercial break here. Make sure we turn off pre-roll, do our commercial question. We will be back very shortly. Just going to do 60 seconds here, and we will catch you on the other side. Okay, Sterls, it's quick for your question today. Would you rather live with all the things that you need to live, right? So you've got, food and water, and you live somewhat comfortably. But would you rather live underwater or in space?
Underwater.
Why?
Have you seen Little Mermaid? Have you seen Aquaman?
Damn, you think you're picking up some white chick because
I already got them.
because you're living under the sea? Some white chick
That's
with
right,
a tail
baby.
or some shit like that?
Get under the sea, baby. Negro in water.
Do you know how to swim?
Oh yeah, drop me in the ocean, baby. I'm living. I can swim.
Okay. I'm space. Easy. I mean, space. Welcome back in, everybody. I told you it would be a quick one. Question today: would you rather live under the sea or in space, provided that you had everything that you needed to be comfortable? And for me, the answer is 100%. I'd rather live in space. But I mean, Sterls thinks he's gonna, pick up a mermaid living under the sea. So
Now you see them thighs and them chicks, bruh. The mer thighs.
Our mental health guy wants to throw in his own commercial question, which of course we welcome. What is the best football movie? I know it's subjective, but what do you got?
Remember the Titans.
That's what I was gonna say. Damn it.
Yeah.
I mean,
and draft day is just, it's corny.
I hate draft day. Everybody loves draft day. I hate draft day. It's so bad.
It's corny. It's super corny.
Super corny. Any
Jerry Maguire
Sundays in there. We Are Marshall in a different way, like pulls on your heartstrings a little bit.
Jerry Maguire.
Jerry Maguire's good. Yeah, I think football's just tough, though. I mean, it's hard to make films about movies. Friday Night Lights didn't do it for me.
Friday Night Lights was good, but it's not better than Remember the Titans.
Yeah. For me, it's Remember the Titans. Is that your pick, mental health guy, by the way? All right. This is the King's Jewel of today. And it's a 1:00 start, which is crazy. Dolphins at Ravens. Dolphins getting 3 points on the road. Both teams feeling pressure from teams inside their division who are behind them. And this is not just a battle for the number 1 overall seed. Yes, that's something that the winner has an inside track to, but the loser could drop all the way down to 5 or 6 in the wild card race if things go a certain way next week. And so you're fighting for your life a little bit here. This is not just for seeding. This is for a home playoff game. This is for a division championship. This is an absolutely massive game when it comes to the AFC playoff picture. Dolphins getting 3 points in Baltimore. Who you like?
Oh, I'm taking the Ravens. The Ravens are going to put it on these boys today. It's that simple.
That's it. That's the completion of the analysis.
I mean, listen, the Dolphins got to prove that they can beat a good team. And I even, it sounds so cliche to say that, but you're playing against the best team in the AFC. You're going to have to come out. There's no Raheem Mostert today, right? So, and A-Chain is always hurt. So, even if he's going to get 5 carries, 10 carries, can he finish the entire game? So that leaves Tua. What is Tua going to do against his defense? And I feel like, Baltimore plays that blitz heavy kind of zone, it's going to cause him, and that Miami Dolphins offensive line is not good. So those are the reasons why I'm picking the Ravens right now.
Milkman chimes in with the longest yard for a favorite football movie. I
It's
don't need it.
funny, but it's
Yeah, I
not.
don't need it. Mental health guy, also thank you for the gifted sub. Always so generous when he comes in here. Appreciate that a whole lot. That is what I need, according to Twitch. They tell me that I need more subscribers. So I appreciate that. Thank you, mental health guy, for that gifted sub. For me, here's the thing. The Ravens saw an offense a whole lot like this one last week. And what did they do against it? They took a guy who, if you take away his first read and make him panic a little bit, not so great in the second play, and they made him pay. He got 5 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying they're going to get 5 turnovers today, but, Sterls, you've talked a lot of times about, can you make Tua hold on to that ball for that extra beat?
Yeah.
And I think
And it's
they can do it.
crazy. It's crazy that the NFL schedule makers put these 2 games back to back. So the Ravens, they're playing the same game that they played last week.
Same
and I'm glad you
offense.
mentioned that. It's the same offense, same personnel.
And
Almost.
it lets you put a whole nother week of prep into it. So it's not saying necessarily that you're going to do the exact same thing, but what it is going to do is it's going to allow you to try something new against this. And if it doesn't work, you say, okay, you remember what we did last week? That's what we're doing now. You
Yep.
know what I mean? And like, listen, Mike McDaniel is smart enough to know, yeah, they're going to run a similar type defense, but it just gives the Ravens so many options in terms of what they can do to try to stop it.
Yeah, and again, the Dolphins have an offensive line that's not performing very well right now. So that's gonna be hard to overcome. We're getting to the place in the season and in the playoffs where the little imperfections that your team has are magnified because teams are going to be looking to exploit those things, right? So if you're the Dolphins, like, what are you going to put on film for the Bills and for your first playoff game? Because those things are going to get exploited heavily. So you want to come in this game and you're going to have to empty the clip. You're going to have to play your best football. And if I had to choose who's going to play the best football, I'm going to say the Ravens over the Dolphins.
All right, I'm taking the Ravens too. I'll lay the 3 points. I don't know. Did the win against the Cowboys not prove anything to you?
No, it really didn't. The Cowboys should have won that game. I mean, you have a fumble at the goal line from a fullback. Like, this missed opportunities on the Cowboys, but the Dolphins did win, but it didn't move the needle for me. This game, if the Dolphins win this game, then you'll prove something to me for sure.
Interesting. All right. Well, the money's on the Ravens too because it's juice. The line is -3, but also -120. So a lot of people betting Ravens, but I will do it as well. And there you go. That's kind of the game of the day. Moving on, Titans and Texans. CJ Stroud is back, and the Texans need this one. I think it's going to set up for an interesting Week 18 game. I'm going to take the Texans -4 points here, Sterls. I think CJ Stroud comes back with a little bit of a vengeance and wants to prove that this team still playoff worthy, despite a couple weeks without their starting quarterback. Who do you like here, Titans and Texans?
Oh man, give me the Texans here. I want the Texans.
-4.
Yeah, I think they can. One thing that we can say about the Texans is that they're consistent. They are at least consistent. Both these teams are consistent. You're going to get a hell of a defensive effort from the Titans here. But CJ Stroud's playing. I mean, I like CJ Stroud. He's gonna
Well,
play. He's
I
gonna play.
will say you get Will Levis back for the Titans, and he had a great first game, fell off for a couple weeks, but has slowly been showing me, hey, maybe he's got a little bit of something here.
Mm-hmm.
The last couple weeks of that he played anyway. Then, of course, Tannehill starts, I think, 2 games. But Levis back for this one. I honestly, I wish this was part of a worse lineup because I would spend some time watching this game, and I'll probably
Yeah.
go back and do the rewatch of it. Because you got 2 young quarterbacks here that I kind of want to see what happens with,
Right. Right.
But I'll take Texans
Yeah,
-4 in that one.
it's gonna be a good game.
Sneaky good game of the day. Steelers and Seahawks. I think this is probably the second best game today, to be honest with you. Steelers at Seahawks. It's your only 2:05 start. The other 2 games are 2:25. So this is your only early afternoon start. Steelers get Mason Rudolph again. I believe Geno Smith starting for the Seahawks. These 2 teams to me are so similar. I mean, they are really good defenses. I shouldn't say really good. Good defenses with a couple really good playmakers on them, a couple good young guys. Not anything to write home about on the offensive line. Incredible wide receivers and quarterbacks that can't get them the ball. Like these 2 teams to me feel very, very similar. I'm kind of torn on this line here. I've been going back and forth. Who do you like, Sterls? Do you have a strong pick here?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here. I like to tend to take the veteran quarterback. And the thing is, Seattle has really good corners, and George Pickens is not going to be catching 9 routes down the field like he did last week or a slant for 70. It's not going to happen today. So they're going to have to the Steelers are going to have to somehow manufacture offense in a different way, and I don't think they're capable of doing that.
I mean, both these teams, when you watch them play, you just scream at the television, run the ball,
Yeah.
and get the ball in the hands of your wide receivers because they're that good.
Mm-hmm.
And you saw
Mm-hmm.
what Pickens did last week when you put the ball in his hands. Jackson Smith and Jigba a couple weeks ago with a touchdown down the sideline to win the game there. You know what I mean? Like these guys have incredible talent. You almost feel like both these teams are wasting their wide receivers because you'd love to see them with better quarterbacks. God, I'm leaning Seattle, but I am really flip-flopping on this one. Make another argument for me that as to why it should be. No, I'm kidding. All right, I'll take Seattle. I'm just trying to buy time here because I don't know what I want. I'm gonna take Seattle. I'll lay the 4. See, but it's 4.5, man.
Why are you scared of 4.5?
Because 4.5 is so much that if you get into like that touchdown field goal topsy-turvy back and forth, 17-13, that's still a Steelers cover. So it's no, I'm gonna do it. I'll take Seattle. I'll lay the 4.5. I think the red nose will come off Rudolph for this one. It was fun last week, but I think that's all you're gonna get.
Okay.
All right, Chargers, Broncos. In a game, yes, that still has playoff implications, but you wouldn't know it if you were talking to the Broncos. The Broncos believe they're out of it. So they benched their starting quarterback, Russell Wilson. They are going to Jared Stidham to start today. And Easton Stick starts for the Chargers. The one game that nobody will watch today, Chargers-Broncos. Here in Denver, a 4:25 start. Do you have a favorite here, Sterls?
Jarrett Stidham, Easton Stick.
Yeah.
Give me the stick. Give me the Chargers, man.
Oh, look at you.
Yeah, Easton's not that bad. He's not that bad.
I mean, somebody get a little too caught up in last week's film.
Yeah. But Jarrett Stidham?
Yeah, I played well last year. limited time.
Keep last year.
What else do we
year.
have to go off of?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not expecting him to come in and be a world beater today. Because the Chargers, they're going to win this game. That's just how it works. They're going to come in and beat Denver. They're going to find this offense that they hadn't had all season, and he's going to put up 30 points against the Broncos. I think, the locker room for the Broncos right now, they have to be demoralized. When you sit Russell Wilson, I understand why, for the contractual reasons and stuff like that. But man, it's like you're toying with the morale of your football team. So I got the Chargers get the bump for me.
Real quickly, we just got that little alert there. Mile High Trig subscribed for 6 months, and I'm almost positive that's my mom. So thanks, Mom. Love you. I don't know what her Twitch handle name is, but I'm almost positive Mile High Trig is Mama Bear. So love you, Mom.
Look at that.
I know, isn't that cute? All right, for Broncos Chargers, yeah, I think it's a good point, Sterls, that you wonder how the locker room feels about this. I mean, do they think that the offense will run better with Stidham? Because there might be some guys in there that believe that. And do they think this is the coach punting on the season? Because there are some guys in there that might believe that too. Do they think that the organization did Russell dirty here? There's all kinds of dynamics that you can't really know how these guys feel, and I don't know. Could be interesting how that locker room responds. If everybody rallies around Stidham and they get a big win here, like, do they not like Russell? You know what I mean? Like, it's a possibility.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, it's man, you look at Russ and you feel bad for him in a sense. You do.
You feel bad for his 139 mil that is
not
cool.
Just
140 million,
right? When you take the financials out and just they turned it around. They turned it around, man. And Russ and all those players, it's a slap in the face to your team, man. Like, I don't care what day of the week it is. Jarrett Stidham is not better than Russell Wilson.
And there's it's embarrassing no matter how much money you're walking out of there with. You know what I mean? Like, no man who has any pride whatsoever is walking out of there with his head held high after getting benched and, cut, which is apparently going to happen. So yeah, I get you feeling bad for him a little bit.
Yeah, it sucks, man. I think guys are going to be out there just trying to play not to get hurt. They're going to preserve themselves because they know that big changes are coming this offseason.
And you know what happens when you play not to get hurt?
You get hurt.
All the time. Like, if you're not playing 100%, if you're not playing full speed, that is when injuries happen.
You're going to get hurt. But that's what teams and players still do it.
Yeah. All right, so you're on the Chargers plus 3.5.
Yeah.
I'll take the Broncos minus 3.5, just because I feel like that team is going to rally around a little bit, and we'll see what happens.
No one's watching that game.
No one's watching that game, partially because of Steelers-Seahawks, partially because of this one. Bengals-Chiefs in Arrowhead, another 4:25 start. Jake Browning versus Patrick Mahomes. Isn't that what we all
that's
the
the quarterback matchup that I want to see.
Yeah.
Boy, you talk about crybabies. The Chiefs are crybabies. They are. Yeah.
Right,
listen, man, you're a crybaby. The NFL has catered to you so much. You go out last week and you get your ass kicked by the Raiders, and you see Mahomes pissing on the sideline and Kelsey throwing helmets, and it's just like a championship caliber team is unraveling right before our eyes. And I want to see Mahomes play somewhere that's not Arrowhead in the playoffs.
Me too.
Now, the thing is, it's not necessarily all on Mahomes. He has a share in it because he hasn't been playing great. But those wide receivers are bad. They're bad. The offense has no rhythm. It's bad. And I think the Bengals have they have the right stuff defensively. Now they're going to be missing B.J. Hill, right? B.J. Hill is out for the season with the torn quad, or is it Reader? I think it's Hill. Hill is out, but so you're going to be kind of hurt up front, and I think Pacheco is going to be playing this game as well. So I just think that the Bengals and Jake Browning, you want to talk about above average quarterback play or backup quarterback. Jake Browning is an above average backup quarterback. So
he
you're
has
going to
played
get
himself into like 3 or 4 other backup quarterback contracts, hasn't he?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you look on the other side and you have 2 really good receivers that are going to cause some issues. So, and Mahomes is not going to be able to go toe to toe, score for score with these guys. They're still pretty good. So I'm going to take the Bengals here in Arrowhead. I think the Chiefs are going to lose once again.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
I mean,
Nobody
that
wants
would
to say
really
it, but
be sky is falling, Sterls.
listen, you go to the you can't expect to go to the Super Bowl and be in the AFC Championship year after year after year. The law of averages say you're going to have a down year, and this is their down year. They got to do some soul searching this offseason in terms of what they want their offense to look like, and they got big contracts and stuff like that. So they're going to have to really draft well. And Brett
Well, now
Veach,
hold on, I'm going to
he's
stop
got
you there because they don't have the big contracts. Listen, they got a
no,
little
they
bit
do. They do, because Mahomes is still under his big contract. What I'm saying is they don't have a lot of space and cap space to go get a free agent wide receiver.
Yeah,
They're going to have to
true.
draft and develop is where I'm going. And the 2 receivers that they drafted, Rashee Rice is okay, but Sterling Moore, he ain't it. Kadarius Toney ain't it. And that's what's hurting them right now is the offensive side of the ball.
They got a little bit spoiled because they did a rebuild on the fly on their defensive side of the ball, and it worked. Yep. And so they said, we're just going to do the same thing on the offensive side of the ball. Rebuild on the fly, draft a bunch of wide receivers. It's Patrick Mahomes. We still have Travis Kelce. We got a good offensive line. It'll work. Well, guess what? It didn't work. So, yeah, I agree with you. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board next year. But the thing is, you get even average guys in there, and they're going to be okay. Off again. Yeah. Listen, the Bengals need this game to get in, and I think it's going to make them play crazy hard.
Yep.
So I'll take the Bengals +7. I think that spread is way too big. This is a game that I would have looked at like a 4.5 or something like that. So I'll take the Bengals +7. Chiefs are notorious for not covering anyway, but I do think the Chiefs pull it out and win this game. If they lose this game, Sterls, first of all, going into Week 18, it's likely that they'd have to win, but the Raiders and the Broncos can still both be alive to win the AFC West if the Chiefs lose this game, which is just a wild thing to say.
It's crazy.
9-8, and they, could be the AFC West division winner. Also, if your prediction is right here, you could slide below the AFC South champion here and have to play the Cleveland Browns in the first round.
Yikes.
Now, if you're in the 3 spot, you still are likely getting either Bills or Dolphins. Excuse me. You're still likely getting either Bills or Dolphins, which is not a fun matchup. But if you slide all the way to the 4, man, I mean, who would have thought it at the beginning of the season with the Kansas City Chiefs? I don't know anybody that would have predicted that. I'll take Bengals +7. What was your final pick? Was Bengals +7 as well?
Yes.
Both of us on the points in that one. And then finally, Sunday Night Football, Packers-Vikings. Not what I would have picked for my Sunday Night Football game. All kinds of good options here, but okay. Packers-Vikings is what we'll go with. Packers +1 point. It is going to be Jordan Love versus Jaron Hall out of BYU. So who do you like, the Aggie or the Mormon? Who you rooting for here?
Oh man, give me the Packers, bro.
Packers
give me the
+1
Packers in this one. Yeah, Packers +1.
On the road in a must-win game.
Yep, Jordan Love, baby.
I'm sorry. What did you just say?
Jordan Love.
Yeah, but you said that like, oh yeah, I'm picking Jordan Love, baby. Like,
I am.
know.
That's right.
That's a little
Mr.
aggressive
Deep Ball
for me.
himself.
I don't know that I would go that far.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take the Vikings minus a point. I don't know. What's his face, the head coach there? I guess if he thinks Hall is going to be better than these other two guys, I was never a Nick Mullins fan. I don't know. I mean, I feel like you should start Josh Dobbs. Both these teams still in it in the playoff race. They're both, one game out of the 6th and 7th seed. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like a game that you give up and put in Jaren Hall. But maybe it's not a give up, right? And that's kind of what I'm banking on. I'm banking on that the coaches know something that we don't. So you don't look impressed with that at all.
How can you be? You're not impressed with it.
No, I'm not. All right, before we get out of here, any final thoughts? You want to talk MVP at all? Anything that you want to throw out there before we get out of here?
Nah, man, I'm ready for these games to start.
Good news. You have an hour left because we did a quick show today.
Yep, got to go get some tea and honey.
Well, I appreciate you hopping on, man. I was kind of hoping you were still drooling into your pillow, sleeping and resting up because we need you ready for the playoffs. But hopefully that voice continues to get better. Appreciate you hopping in. Hope everybody had a happy holiday. Hope everybody has a happy new year coming up here. Yeah, you got any New Year's plans, Sterling? Anything? You doing anything good here?
Michigan and Alabama. That's
tomorrow,
it.
Bro.
Well, that's all I care about.
That's not.
I ain't doing nothing today.
That's not.
I'm resting, man.
It's not all you care about. There's 2 football games today that you care about too.
After today, that's it.
All right. Well, we got to say it for my guy Sterls here. Roll Tide, of course.
Of course. Yes. Can't wait, Milkman.
There you go. Of course, that you've awakened the troll. Here he is, Milkman, ladies and gentlemen.
Uh-huh.
That Bama beatdown. Roll Tide. Mental health guy. Did you get the portal for?
I did.
Oh, the
sure
PlayStation
did.
portal.
I got it.
I was thinking transfer portal with the way that all this college
no.
stuff is going.
I secured the bag, so my boys got the PlayStation portal. Yep, I had like 4 browsers open.
I'm glad you got it, man. I'm glad you got it. How was the moment opening the?
Oh yeah, he was stoked. He was stoked.
There you go. That's what it's all about, right?
Yep.
All right. Appreciate everybody for stopping in. Sterls, appreciate you for being here. As always, you can hit us up on social media if you want to talk about the games as they're happening today. We are more than happy to do that. Of course, my picks will be better than Sterls, so I've stopped tweeting him about that. But if you want to give him some smack talk for it, feel free.
Please do.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, ring the bell, everything else on whatever platform you're watching on. We love that when you guys do that, so we appreciate y'all. We will catch you. No Monday Night Football this week, but I will be streaming the college football playoff games, and Sterls will either come on and cry with me or come on and cheer as Michigan and Alabama wraps up. No, I'm kidding. He probably won't be. But I will do a college football stream tomorrow, so hopefully we see y'all for that. All right, Sterls, any last words?
Go Bills.
That's right, baby. Go Bills. And Milkman, I'll see you back here tomorrow. All right, peace, y'all.